We're going to be talking about Trial of the Gods today. So we're very excited to bring you a little bit more information about Trial of the Gods and the what it will bring to the game.
We're looking to really add a lot of depth to the lore of the game, which is really important to not only the attachment to the cards, but also to the gameplay itself. It opens up a lot of design space for us as card designers. We get to design cards around story, which is something that hasn't been done to this level in Gods Unchained yet, and something I'm really excited to do and have really enjoyed doing for this set. So the champions, as seen here, are going to be each one will be representing a god, and they'll be fundamentally changing the story of the game. They'll be battling to win, and we can't get into too much detail. We'll be revealing one of our champions today. We're very excited to announce the very first champion. We'll be revealing the Light champion.
And here he is.
Dun dun dun. Lysander.
So, as we mentioned, he has been broken and put himself back together with the help of his god. So he has literally been blasted apart and Kintsugi, thank you, Kelly, and put back together. So.
Yeah, and we'll have a full character story later today on our blog, chapter 2, and it will. I've read it. It's awesome. I think you've read it. It's amazing. So if you want to learn more about Lysander and what happened, please read it. It is so good. And a little bit of a teaser for our first cinematic for the new expansion.
So this is an animation that we've just completed this morning. So this is the kind of thing that we're going to see on the front of our webpage when you log in and things like that. So
yeah, it's incredible. I'm so happy with this animation, and extremely excited to see the other ones too. And I can't wait to see this used potentially in game and on the website and stuff like that. I think the quality is just incredible. I really probably my favorite thing about Lysander is his weapon and armor setup. So if I understand correctly, it is actually very historically accurate.
Right.
The way that people with these sorts of spears used to fight and wear armor, they would need their other hand to be a lot lighter.
Yep.
And they would use this one to be very defensive.
To block and that sort of thing.
Yeah. So very, very cool. All right, so let's reveal some light-related cards. All these cards are currently shown in a neutral frame, but they will be shown in the proper light frame when we release the set.
And when we release the set, that will mean the start of our balancing phase.
Yes.
So, the cards will change and morph over that balancing phase period. And
yeah. So our first one is the Athenian Guardian.
Right.
Obviously, a light card is a common, and it is an Olympian, although this, again, subject to change.
So it's got the keyword of frontline, and then at the end of your turn, if this creature has 3 strength or less, give it +1/+1. So this, if you can keep this guy on the board, this would be a very powerful card.
Yeah, so it comes down basically as a 2/3 because the first trigger is at the end of the turn, so it's about what you would expect from a vanilla 2-drop 2/3 frontline is on rate, and then it gets stronger and stronger. And obviously it has the Olympian tag, which is a very relevant keyword, which is awesome. And I expect this card to be quite powerful, and that's one of the reasons why I chose it. I'm expecting this to potentially undergo some changes, but we'll see. So I'm going to be very excited to see how this card plays out.
Cool, next one.
You can pronounce this one's name.
Oh, can I?
Yes.
Vengeful? I don't know. But Lokagos is vengeful. Lokagos
Nice.
is based on the Greek word for captain, Lokagos.
Yes.
And he looks really interesting too. So at the end of your turn, if this creature has not attacked since entering the board, give it +1/+1. And raw, when it hits the board, give the chosen one ward and +1/+1. So again, that kind of light aspect where it buffs other cards or itself at the same time.
Yeah, so this is again an Olympian, and we'll see that there's quite a lot of Olympians. That is generally Light's thematic tribe. And obviously, it has a very relevant effect for the Chosen One. And I know this is something that players have been dying for, is more ward effects for the Chosen One. So we've been trying to give them that in this set, so that players can, protect that really big creature that they've invested so much mana into. Really interesting to play with, and I've actually played a little bit with this card already, and been testing it out. And it's really interesting because sometimes it's very correct to not attack, which is quite cool. And it's this interesting dynamic of, oh, do I actually want to get this damage in now, or do I want to wait? And it's very, very fun to play with.
Yeah. All right, so that is Vengeful Lokagos.
Awesome. So next we'll be moving on to a much easier name to pronounce.
The City Therapon. And when it dies, it spawns 2 injured soldiers.
Into your void.
Into the void.
Yes. So it's a 1-mana 2/2 Olympian. So pretty average, normal stats for a creature. And obviously Olympian is very important here. And you might be wondering, why do I want 2 injured soldiers into my void? It's a little weird. Like, what is that doing for me? So generally the way that these Olympians work is, they want more dead Olympians in the void because it makes their other creatures stronger. So you have cards like Spartan, Phalanx Champion, Empire's Footman, and the like that reward you for having dead Olympians, which is kind of sad and depressing now. I'm expecting this card to be quite good alongside a lot of cards like Trojan Golem and the like that work and put a lot of Olympians in the void. So I'm very excited to see what Olympian decks get brewed up in the future. It should be very, very exciting. So this is coming up to the big reveal.
Here we go.
So we will be revealing Lysander and what he does. Obviously he's a light card and a legendary. Let's see Lysander.
Alright. So Lysander, Champion of Light. He has frontline and ward. And at the start of your turn, completely heal this creature. After a friendly creature is healed, they gain +1 strength.
Yes, and Lysander is also an Olympian, or this potentially might change. We'll see in the future. And yeah, he's incredibly difficult to remove from play. He's a great way to stall. And with his innate ward and ability to heal every turn, he can really just lock down the board for light.
I was just going to mention the story because that description of his power and his card really ties in nicely towards the story that we'll be releasing this afternoon. So I'd really encourage you to read that. It's got an amazing moment in it where you find out why he's got all these cracks in his skin, and yeah, it's very cool. So what would you say is a good counter to Lysander? How would you, if he appears on the board, what's your next move?
It really depends on what deck I'm playing. It's quite hard to deal with for Magic because of ward and the high health line. But I think a lot of other smaller or more aggressive decks with deadly creatures, or even mid-range decks with just stuff that can kill him.
Nature might be a good.
Yeah, nature. I have played against Lysander a couple of times, and nature is doing pretty good against it. And it is quite a slow card. Like, it doesn't have a huge impact on the board straight away. It's really just defensive, and I actually think it fits really well into light control decks because it really is a very good bridge to the late game, because it can just help stabilize for a second. And then there's obviously the healing synergy, which is something that is quite interesting to explore.
Yep.
Lysander does face some trials. It is the trial of the gods, and his trial is set by war. We'll be showing off the trial also, so you get to see one war card, which is quite exciting.
Each champion will have a trial and also a triumph card. At the end of your turn, double each friendly creature's strength and give them afterlife, deal damage equal to this creature's strength, split randomly amongst all enemy creatures.
Yeah, so this is a very slow card, and it does set a real challenge for anyone who faces it. So it does nothing the turn you play it, right? It's 7 mana to do nothing.
Right.
But it makes your next turn huge. So it makes everything really, really big on the board, and it also makes them very, very hard to deal with, because if you kill them, it splits and deals damage. So it is very slow, very controlling, and very hard to deal with. So this is what Lysander has to overcome. So this is representative of his trial. It's very, very, very interesting, and I'm really excited to see the decks built around this. So what will Lysander do? you'll have to wait and read in the blog. Yeah, so we expect to have another stream hopefully coming later this week where we'll be showing another champion, and we can give the silhouette of which champion we're going to show for people to speculate around. I'm very excited for this one. I'm very excited. Awesome. So we might wrap it up. It's been awesome. We'll see you very soon, where we'll be talking about the next champion, revealing some more cards, and please, if you have any theory crafted decks with these new cards that you want to talk about in general or balance or anything like that, I'm so excited to see what you have come up with, and I just can't wait.
We'll see you soon.
Bye bye.